From draft horses to drones, pitchforks to IP addresses, and handsaws to hands-free auto steer, there have been countless advances and developments in the last 100 years. The Davis-Purdue Ag Center has faced many challenges and opportunities while staying focused on farmers, Indiana agriculture, research, and educational outreach. Purdue University started establishing agricultural research centers in the early 20th century. Known as PACs, the Purdue Agricultural Centers are where much of Purdue's agricultural and horticultural research is conducted, trialed, and tested. The Davis-Purdue Agricultural Center is one of 8 PACs located throughout the state of Indiana. Davis PAC is the second oldest ag center in the system and has seen a century of progress. Today, the Davis-Purdue Ag Center consists of 703 acres in Randolph and Jay counties and 107 managed forested acres. Just like agriculture has changed and evolved over the years, so has the operation and research at Davis. However, the mission of Davis PAC is the same today as it has been from the beginning: to provide a location and expertise for the development of research and demonstration projects in order to benefit producers and others involved in agriculture. On April 2, 1917, Martha Davis, the widow of Dr. Lewis Davis of Farmland, Indiana, conveyed 385 acres in Randolph County to Purdue University. The land was known as the Herbert Davis Forestry Farm. Her intent was that the farm be dedicated to the advancement of agriculture, the preservation of native trees and flowers, and the enrichment of country life. She also wished for the farm to be a refuge for birds. The farm was donated to Purdue University as a memorial to the Davises' only child, Herbert, who died in 1895 at the age of 19 due to an illness. In the beginning, the 385 acres of Davis-Purdue Ag Center looked similar to any other farm in East Central Indiana. Days began early with the crew meeting on the back porch of the superintendent's residence, which doubled as the office. Plans for the day were made with plenty of talk about the houses and barns and the workers that lived there. Agronomic research has always been a part of Davis. Research methods were practiced on small fields called plots. Plots are carefully mapped and are often used to compare research once data is collected. The plot method is still used today. Starting in the 1920s, researchers began to publish data and findings in various formats. Field days were held to share agricultural methods with local farmers. Originally, Purdue had a prominent horse improvement program throughout the state. Prize stallions were purchased and located at Davis PAC for farmers to bring in mares to be bred. One exceptional stallion was named Felix. He sired many offspring and improved genetic lines. Many horse field days and workshops were held at various times. Modern designs for structures were often tested. Over time, a cattle barn, farrowing house, machine shed, and a new chicken coop were all added to the farm. This photograph shows the fireproof engine house, which was made of glazed tile and concrete. It housed the gasoline engine and electric generating plant. The old corn crib was described as an excellent self-feeder for rats. It was replaced in 1922 by a steel corn crib with a concrete base. Progress was even sought after in small ways, like replacing wood fence posts with concrete posts. Davis PAC has been known for its excellent stands of timber. In the 1920s, a researcher by the name of Burr Prentice began mapping and tagging all trees that were at least 4 inches in diameter. Prentice and his family lived in a camp on the grounds for the summers of 1926 and 27 for the project. The inventory has been updated many times since then. Burr Prentice later became the first head of the Purdue Forestry Department when it was established. The Old Growth Forest is a 51-acre stand of timber where very little cutting has been done over the years. It was a key feature when Purdue accepted the gift from Martha Davis. In 1979, the Old Growth Forest was registered as a natural landmark. The period of time during and following World War II was difficult for most research stations throughout the United States. Tight budgets and limited labor meant research had to be scaled back, and maintaining buildings was difficult. In the late 1940s and 1950s, the focus of research efforts shifted to beef and dairy cattle, along with row crop research. The original barn at DPAC was renovated into a dairy cattle facility, and an extensive beef cattle and dairy crossbreeding program was established and lasted for many years. As the agronomic research increased in the 1950s and 60s, field tiles were installed at several different times. Tiles were originally installed with laterals on the 100-foot spacings, but more recent installations have been made with 45-foot lateral spacings. In the 1960s, the dairy crossbreeding project was phased out, and the emphasis turned to confinement hog production. A 200-sow farrow-to-finish operation was established. A genetic study was held with the Animal Science Department. In the 1970s and 80s, the shop and office were added. Hog facilities were built and a swine genetic study continued. The Agricultural Center was also focused on row crop research, variety testing, tillage, and entomology. In the late 1990s, the hog operation was phased out and livestock is no longer a part of the research program or Ag Center. Since the mid-1990s, a focus has been on digital agriculture using GPS technology, auto-steer, variable rate controllers, yield monitors on the combines, and UAVs for all kinds of agronomic research. Most of the traditional small plot research that uses small plot equipment have now been phased out, and field scale research is now conducted with the digital agriculture equipment. Plots that range from 30 to 60 foot wide by a minimum of 400 feet long work well for field scale research studies. The Davis-Purdue Agricultural Center multi-purpose facility was added in 2014. It features a farm shop, offices, and a meeting room. Outreach and education have always been a part of DPAC, including field days, workshops, youth activities, and much more.